Hi, and welcome to today's video where I have my May update for my project pan, and it's 15 items at any time, where I roll out an item once I've finished it or reached the goal. So I have made quite a bit of progress as this month, over the course of the last month anyway. So without further ado, I will start off with the items. The first one is my hair care product, and it's Kerastars Nutritive 8-hour Magic Night Serum. So this one was in last year's project pan, I think. Anyway, it's all used up. I can't recall, but anyway, I finished it up, and or at least I was using it last year as well as this year. I don't like it. I just don't like the scent. It's the scent of Kerastars, so yeah, not one that I would repurchase. It's fine as an overnight serum, and what it does, if your hair's dry, it makes it a little more silkier and softer, but it isn't the best. Percy and Reed do one that's far better, and there are some other companies as well, and this is expensive at over £40, but I'm glad I've actually got this used up. The next is what I'm going to put in it instead. This I've been using on and off for a couple of years now, maybe even 3 years. It's the Aussie 48 hours Sensational Protect, and it's a conditioning mist that you put on either wet or dry hair before you dry or straighten it. So I generally let my hair air dry, or if I do blow dry it, it's on a very low setting, but if I want to straighten my hair, I would put this on first. So where this is going in, I have marked it. It's not the easiest to see, but I've used nail polish, and roughly that's where I'm up to. I'm going to see if I can use this up for the rest of the year, because like I say, it's just slow, it's very slow progress, and I want to get that out of my hair stash. The next item is also an empty, and it is my Jo Malone fragrance, which is Peony and Blush Suede Cologne. So that has all gone. It went in the last couple of days. It's very, very nice, but I have an item here that now and again comes into stock at Aldi. It's a special buy, and it's their number 11 Peony fragrance, which is very, very similar to the Jo Malone. It's an eau de toilette, the other is an eau de cologne, so this is technically stronger than a cologne, an eau de toilette, but it performs more like an eau de parfum. It's considerably stronger than the Jo Malone, very, very similar, a lovely, lovely fragrance. So I've marked where I'm at, and I shall be using this of an evening after my bath and then before I go to bed. That's how I get these used up. Moving on to face, I have my primer by Laura Mercier. It's getting quite thin now, and I have, let me just see, the Radiance primer started off at 65.5 gram new, and yet last month it was 50 gram, and this month it is 44 gram. So I've used up 6 grams, very, very pleased, and I use that as my primer before I put any foundation products on. Now, the main foundation that I've been using is the CC cream by It Cosmetics. It's one of my original ones, or one of the original colours, shall I say, that's been recoloured, it's been reformulated. So I can't find an exact good match for me anymore. There is in America. This one is in Fair, and the Fair has gone more orangey, or has gone to orange. In America, there's light neutral, but that has been in America for over a year, and it's not come to the UK. But if it does, I would try that. But this is one of the original shades of Fair. So this is, last month was 45.5 gram, and it's now 36.5 gram. So I've used 9 gram in a month, which is great. But I do mix it with another product, another It Cosmetics CC cream, just to make it a shade darker. Not that my skin varies in colour, but it's to give it more colour, because I've got a lot of colour on my face now, because it is normally, like my arm, absolutely white. So I'm enjoying using that, and it looks like it will only have a few months left. Then moving on, I've got this. I'd already finished up a product, just likewise I'd finished up a foundation, and that is my second one. This is my second highlighter in the project. So this is the Pillow Talk Medium from Charlotte Tilbury in the light wand. And this one started off at 20.5 gram in March. In April, it was 19.5 gram. And in May, it was 19.5 gram, now it is 18.5 gram. So I've used a gram a month. It is mainly air when you get it, but I have taken off the sponge tip because I was cleaning it each time I used it. And what happens is it spurts so much out, I've had to put it into a little pot, the excess, and I've been cleaning the wadding at the top, the sponge, and it fell apart. So that's where we're up to. I have locked it in the off position, but it's a very messy product. Yeah, so I've used 1 gram. Then moving on, I've got the Milani Make It Last. I did finish up 1 setting spray. This is my second, and it looks like I'm going to be finishing that soon. I've only got perhaps a couple of weeks left, but it is starting to splatter a bit. But it's fine at... It's not the most blurring or the most blending of setting sprays, but it does add a little bit of longevity, I would say. I'm enjoying using it. It doesn't have a nasty scent, and it does evaporate off the skin fairly quickly, so you're not left with too much of a wet skin. But I have enjoyed using that. The next item is by Laura Geller, and it is the Balance and Brighten foundation in porcelain, and this is the standard size. Now it's going to be very difficult because I only use it generally to seal my eyeliner down, because it's quite a heavy powder. It's light, but it has a lot of pigment in it. It's a highly pigmented powder, but I do use it because eyeliner, unless it's liquid, many of them are softer formulas now, and it tends to imprint further up, so I do use that. So this is going to be slow progress, but I have finished. I'm using several powders at the moment. I think I put this in fairly early on, and yeah, I'm still working on it. It's got a dip in, it's gone concave, it's got a big dip, but I'm not sure when I'll hit pan on that, and whether it'll be this year. I then have an eyeshadow in my Zao palette, and it is Naked from the Naked palette by Urban Decay, which is... Another one's falling out, so I've got to be very careful. I will get it out and show you, because I have other... And here it is all empty. So I use that over my mobile lid. So I'll show you what I'm going to put in its place. This is also from the Naked eyeshadow palette, and this is Book. So it is very, very similar to Naked, just a tone darker. So I should be using that, or I am using that at the moment. It's not on my lids today. I'm using a pink eyeshadow at the moment. But yeah, that is now being rolled in. I'm not sure, because they're quite strongly pigmented, and a very dry, deep pan. I'm not sure I'll hit pan because I'll need less to get the pigment that I desire on my lids, but I shall give it a go. Then I have from MAC a powder contour, which is in the blush criteria in MAC, but it is actually a contour. That's where I'm up to. So I'm not sure if the pan is getting any bigger, but I am using it every time I use makeup, which is every day, unless I'm ill. And I use that just to shadow under there, and I'm enjoying using that. Then last month I put in the Too Faced bronzer. This is a new product to me, and I've used about 2 or 3 mil, but I've had a problem, as I always do with any tubular sort of item other than lipstick, is when you wind it up, it won't wind back down. I've frozen it to see if that would help, and so basically once you wind it up, you have to then use it. You've got to then push it down, retract it back and push it down with something. So I've decided, and also it's quite muddy on the skin, it's quite dark brown and muddy. So what I've done is I pushed it up and I sliced an amount out, and I mixed it with a Body Shop mixing pigment in Cool, which is an off-white with a slight pink hint. It's no longer sold at Body Shop, so that's what is left in. So I reckon there's about 1/3 of it in this pot. And I've mixed it, like I say, with the whitener, and this is it. Now, the white's got a bit of pink, so what it's essentially done is cooled this down to the extent that it is more or less a sculpting or contour colour instead of a bronzer, which does cause me a bit of a problem because, as you can see, I've already got a contour, but I use it just under the chin. But this is for the cheekbones. But I've also got another contour that I started earlier from Milk Cosmetics, which is not in this project, but I'm going to show you for illustration purposes. And I really feel I also need to concentrate on this. I've virtually hit pan on this one. It's not in the project though, but it's just as a reference. I've still got this to use up and I don't want that to go off. So this is the Milk one, and this is the one that I've made up from the Too Faced in Milk. I think it's called Chocolate Mousse, which is the second lightest in their tones. So I'll use that more once I've used that up. I'm not sure if I can do that this year, but what I'd be really happy, I don't think I'm going to make any more progress on this as a tube, but if I could finish this off this year, which is a good 10 or 12 mil, I would be very, very happy. But like I say, I'm going to use both in the month, but I will also be focusing on this as well. And I do take it across the perimeters, but I then have to warm it up with a powder bronzer. So that's what I'm up to there. The next item I meant to show you I'd rolled out, I haven't got it, but it's a tiny, tiny nub. I've actually finished up the Rodial pencil, and the problem that I had with the eyeliner is that the latter half, it got very mushy. So instead of drying out, it went to a liquid form, and there was voids in it as well, so you couldn't get a sharp point. It was like a moussey mess. So I've used it, and I've got a tiny little nub left. It can't be used anymore. So I've rolled in instead Lord and Berry, and this is in the shade Glam. So it's showing it as metallic, but it really isn't. It's basically a chocolate brown matte. So I don't know why it's got a metallic end on, but I'm enjoying using that. I've just started it, so I will mark it up there. So I put the end to there, and that's where we're up to. I will next month try and bring in to show you, because I don't want to re-record this, the nub of the Rodial, but you'll probably see it in my empties at the end of this month. But it's a tiny, tiny nub, can't be used anymore because I can't sharpen it in the sharpener. So this is the one that I'm putting in its place. Then for lips, I have in this lipstick queen container, I have got a Maybelline Smoky Rose. So it's got some progress on. I wear this about 50% of the time each month, and where it is up to, if I can get the rose, Maybelline Smoky Rose, basically I've had to remark, that's where it started, so it's getting lower, and that's where I've put the end wound up fully. So I'm using a similar amount. I'm over halfway through, shall I say, well over halfway, perhaps 2/3 of the way through. So hopefully I've got a couple of months left only. It's a matte, it's a creamy matte, but it's a matte, and I don't like matte lipsticks, and I think I finally got rid of all the mattes out of my collection now. And then my next lip product is by Ciati and of London. I understand, I've only just been made aware that they are no longer trading. They've gone under, unfortunately, and they own Lottie London as well, which is also gone. So I'm over halfway through now, so it's basically a similar amount for the last 2 months. So I've probably got 2 months, maybe 3 at a push left. And I have enjoyed this. The only thing is you get very little out, because basically the stopper, which is the plastic ring, takes most of the product off the wand. So you've got to dip it in 4 or 5 times to coat the lips, even once. So, but I'm carrying on using that, and it will be nice for summer. Then my penultimate one is Rocketeur blush, which I have on today. In fact, I've got that, and I've also got the Copper Topper, which is this. The Rocketeur, it's difficult to show any more progress. I'm using this about 50% of the time, because I'm trying to use other, because when I get a project pan, I tend to just focus on the one item, but I'm bringing others in or else they're never going to get used in my collection. So I'm rotating every 6 weeks or so, but this is a constant in, and the pan is getting a bit bigger and the depth is getting a bit thinner. So hopefully that will be finished by the end of the year, but it is nice for spring and into summer. And then the final item I'm able to make a mark on because I'm only marking it alternate months or else the lines would blur together. But this is where it was put in January. This is by Orly and it is the Artist Garden, and that's where we're up to today, and I have it on my nails. It's matte because I haven't put a shiny top coat on, but it isn't a matte finish, it's just got a bit more dull. But I have actually filed my nails down because they were getting a bit stringy and a bit catchy, so I've filed them down. But I have enjoyed using this, but it's getting very gummy, so I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to use it, but I'm averaging using it a couple of times a month, so it's 2 full sets on my hands a month. So they're all the 15 items, and I'm pleased with the progress as it is. It's steady with some being used up. Let me know your thoughts down below. Can I say thank you very much for watching, as I do appreciate that your time is valuable, so thank you for spending some of your precious time with me. Hopefully I shall see you soon in another video. Otherwise, please take care of yourselves and bye for now.